Let's get some Canyon Crush Saga going on up in here. All these SMGs still. Because I can't decide which one to stick with. They're all so good. Tediore gets a bad rap. But when they get it right, they really get it right. It's all about getting a good pedigree of parts. Pedigree of parts.
Who needs a real doctor when you got my machines and their scary needles?
It won't be long before I have 7 figures. Still going to avoid the temptation to go shopping around this area, simply because of the sheer expense.
Hello, traveler! There are new missions available on the T-Bone Junction Bounty Board.
The latest and greatest in high-powered weaponry and gear, so right here for your convenience.
Hello, Marcos here. I've got an opportunity for you. Come see me at my place in T-Bone Junction.
Believes in customer service above all else, though all sales are Step right up. This price is available on all weapons and gear. Hi, let's get you rolling, man.
What am I still interested in? An intense Cobra for sure. Or just a better parted combat rifle. Something with the intense prefix that outmodes both of the combat rifles I still have. I still can't decide which one I like better. Payload rifle. You maintain that enthusiasm. I appreciate that. Gordas, TK, people like me need people like that in our lives. The funny thing is, most of my friends perceive me as being that type of person. But the only reason I am that way is because I have them to help me out. Just because a person is of melancholy temperament doesn't mean they don't also have some sanguine in them. Or to use more modern nomenclature, by that I mean the disc system. You might be a conscientious type person corresponding with melancholy, but you also have some inspirer in you, corresponding to sanguine.
So many to choose from.
Jim Carrey, or rather I should specify 90s era Jim Carrey, is a good example of someone who embodies the sanguine temperament. Where he gets his totalitarian political views, I have no idea. I guess you could chalk that up to Jungian duality.
Do not take up arms to fight the oppressors. You must leave the fighting to us when our schedule will permit your defense. If you are stabbed, control the bleeding as best you can. If you find yourself bitten, walk it off. We will protect you.
By the way, my description of Jim Carrey's political views as being totalitarian should not be misconstrued as hate speech. That's not hate speech, that's a legit criticism. When people make statements, when people express philosophical ideas, it's perfectly reasonable to hold those ideas up to constructive criticism. Just the same, it's a good idea for us to do that with ourselves. In fact, we should judge ourselves before we judge others. And when judging ideas, we're not really judging other people, we're judging ideas. But of course, ideas are expressed by people, so it's only natural that some people might get confused regarding that sort of thing. Level 22, Tediore, something good. Well, useless. Might deal more damage than my master, but piss poor handling characteristics, not my style. Seven figures. I wish it was as easy to make money in real life as it is to make money in the Borderlands games. I appreciate Helena Pierce's perspective. It's like the perspective of a pragmatic strategist. You'll hear her say things like, where she talks about interest in the vault, revitalizing New Haven as a settlement. That's a very practical consideration.
Get your meds here.
You need people like that, people who have a mind for that sort of thing, if you want to build and maintain anything resembling a civilization. You need people who know how to marshal resources. And it's a team effort. You can't put that kind of burden on the shoulders of any one person.
You're from off planet. You smell oddly.
And yes, I said Helena, not Helena.
Thank you, valuable Jacobs employee, for your continuing patience during this transitional zombie apocalypse. Your satisfaction is guaranteed.
Helena, is that a Greek name?
Thank you for your continuing commitment to making Jacobs #1 in customer satisfaction and accident awareness.
I also admire her resilience, just like TK Baha. You'll notice a lot of the characters in this game have been mutilated. They bear scars, missing limbs.
Doll makes guns for professional mercs. They're heavy, accurate, and effective. Assuming
And yet they stay determined. Dauntless. There's a strong message in that. One that not a lot of people talk about. Shoot.
Who needs Dr. Zed when you have Dr. Ned?
Turret's gonna have some fun. Blah, blah, and more blah. Actually, that would be a decent weapon against Krom's Canyon. I mean, Krom's turret. Probably better than the one I've got, though the one I've got is more accurate. I guess it's not. Same accuracy. Barrel 1 on this one, barrel 3 on this one. But if we were judging samples of the same make, same make, different model, different barrel, then barrel 3 would be drastically better than barrel 1. That may be a plain old white Teddy, but it's got good sights.
Here's a free tip, soon-to-be zombie-paced man. You can't kill already dead flesh. So the worst of time won't do quickly to a zombie.
Where should I go shopping next? Should I go straight down the list, or should I go to a place where I feel I might actually have a better chance of getting better stuff? But how do I determine that? I'll go to New Haven. I should probably alter my routine so that I start going to New Haven first on these shopping trips, because of that shop that's sometimes hidden. I don't understand what the point is of having that shop sometimes hidden. Once you reach a certain point in the game, just let that garage door open up and stay open.
If he took more than one shot,
That would make more sense. And another ledge. It's one that I don't like. Everyone loves the blast hammer. In this case, it has barrel 2, so I don't know how good that could possibly be. I've never really liked the blast hammer.
My pound of flesh. What? Ain't like that?
Let's trick out your ride.
Time for a nice, relaxing ride.
The crux might actually be a better Blastmaster weapon than the blast hammer.
Shooting bullets just not
I don't know, I've never tested it.
Get a molly
Because when I play Blastmaster Brick, I tend to prefer explodey revolvers, explodey sniper rifles, which, as you know, I refer to as payload rifles.
Want to shoot a lot of bullets really fast? Vladov has your needs covered.
1.1 mil.
Let's get you rolling. Spares no expense in making guns that excel in every area.
Barrel 1. Looks like it might have body 2 on it. Keeping what I've got.
Get your mans here. Don't be shot out. Come on. Catch a ride.
16.
Let's get you rolling.
Such a skimpy magazine capacity.
Get our feet out of the dust. "16-round mag in a machine pistol? That's about as insulting as a 12-round mag in a combat rifle that only fires tri-burst. And look, there's another one.
Accurate throughout the
2 different brands, and they both do that. You can always count on S&S to not screw you like that. A 20-round mag in a machine pistol is nothing to write home about, but at least it's serviceable. It gives you something resembling a serviceable mag capacity.
Combines good damage, high action into one lethal weapon.
I know I don't necessarily need to go on a shopping spree because what I've got is good enough. But in this game, in a looter shooter in general, you're not supposed to settle for good enough. You're supposed to want to hunt for the best. Keep in mind that not all of us define the concept of best by label color. I'm more concerned with quality parts. Borderlands 1 is all about the quality of parts. Borderlands 2 is all about the synergy of parts. Two different principles, but once you know how they work, you'll know how to identify a good piece of gear. There's a payload rifle and there's a Surkov. Good scope, good stock. The Surkov always has barrel 2. Fearsome Surkov. What's so fearsome about it? The Surkov's claim to fame is it has good handling characteristics. Better than typical. But aside from that, is not really exceptional. In my opinion, the best variation of the Surkov is a Surkov with an explodey capacitor, thereby making it a payload rifle.
Jacob scans do one thing really well. Power. And honestly,
If that had a blade on it, I'd seriously consider buying it. Still at terrible 0.7. That's not terrible. As we've seen, it's at least serviceable. But I'm not spending money on a combat shotgun unless it has at least 0.8 fire rate, which is noticeably better than 0.7. It's different if I find one. But if I'm going to spend money on it, it's got to be everything I want it to be. Or at least close. And I try to keep my definitions open. What am I trying to say? Oh, you probably know what I mean. Keep my definitions broad enough so I don't screw myself out of something useful.
BL1 guns shoot more lightning than the next leading competitor. Who needs a real doctor when you got my machines and their scary needles?
Like, for example, I really want a combat rifle that has barrel 3, 4, or 5 combined with body 3 or 5. That's a broad enough definition that it narrows it down. Oh, and an 18-round mag and sight 2 or better. It can have any kind of stock, even a chintzy El Cheapo Type 1 stock. And I will even tolerate barrel 1 if it has a bare minimum accuracy of 87.5, which it will only have with barrel 1 if it's built from material 3. So that's a broad enough definition that it doesn't narrow it down so much that it's stifling, because in a game where everything is randomly generated, you can go years without ever finding exactly what you want.
What good is it
So you have to sort of broadly define what it is that you want, but not too broadly. Because if you keep your definitions too broad, then you'll be constantly using inadequate gear. Not broad enough, and you'll never be finding the stuff you want. I guess, in some sense, if we were to translate that into Big Five terms, since that's Jordan Peterson's fave. By the way, just my mentioning Jordan Peterson should not be construed as hate speech. I'm only mentioning him because he talks about the Big Five a lot, and the Big Five is really what I'm talking about here. Just sort of a disclaimer there. Well, in Big Five terms, I guess, that could be somewhat comparable to the principles of openness to experience and conscientiousness. I score highly on both. Most people score highly on one and low on the other. From what I understand, anyway.
Have been embracing weapons not manufactured by the Jacobs Corporation for their elemental modifications. We remind ourselves
I'm high on openness to experience, high on conscientiousness. Those are the two where I'm ultra high. I also score moderately on extroversion, which is surprising because every other psychometric test clocks me as an introvert.
I had 3 to 1. You'd be zombie nuggets.
If you find that your gun just doesn't hold enough bullets, then SS has the solution. More bullets. All SS guns have extended magazines.
I score moderately on agreeableness and moderately on neuroticism. In MBTI terms,
If this crap ain't enough
that
for
supposedly
your
corresponds
apples,
with
this is my
ENFJT, which is interesting because I'm an INTJT.
Don't go falling in love with me, stranger. I've been hurt too many times.
Enneagram type 5 with a 6 wing. Tri-type 514. Trifix, if you know what that means. 561245. 5 with a 6 wing, 1 with a 2 wing, 4 with a 5 wing. Everyone has a tri-type and a trifix. Still interested in an intense pounder with good parts.
Time for a nice relaxing.
Just a moment. I'm back. I saw that red dot. Just like the motion tracker in original Halo.
Hyperion asks, what good is a gun that doesn't shoot where you point? Get a gun that's as accurate as you are. Let's get you rolling.
Now, should I bother checking the chests here? Because level 22 stuff is plentiful here, but is it going to be any good? Usually by this point in the game, I skip that. Because if 22 is the best you find, then by this point, if you're level 28, you're going to be looking for level 24 stuff bare minimum. Well, I don't know. That's not necessarily true. Level 22 stuff can still be useful.
Scans do one thing really well. Power. And honestly,
If it's good
what
enough.
else do you need?
Well, that's enough shopping for now. Can we please let's go? Morty, do you have a touch of Scout in you? Scout from Team Fortress 2?
Yes, that's right. Closer.
Well, Morty as a shotgunner is kind of like the Scout. A hunter's shotgun that I didn't have to buy. Uh, 0.6 though, it has a bad body type. I bet it's going to have this stupid over-exaggerated cocking animation. Let's test that. Yep. Junk. I don't tolerate that malarkey. Malarchius Maximus. And even with Barrel 5, it can't even make that distance. The closest comparable SNS model would. Only good for stunning. Sometimes it can't even do that much. That took way more effort than it should have.
Feel it.
If Morty is the scout from Team Fortress 2, then maybe Scooter is Ellis from Left 4 Dead 2.
Get your meds here.
Top of the line right there. Never mind the model number. That's a 5-line purple. S&S, an excellent brand
Dear, anywhere on the planet.
all around.
Whether you are killing
5
bad
minutes.
guys or
Acid Revolver, you're up.
exploring the unknown, you need a trusty gun by your side.
I think the idea here is you can lead these spider ants, sort of, kind of get them to follow you, but it's unreliable. They're not ant lions after all, and you don't have bug bait. A test of accuracy. And a test of my patience with these flat sights. Rear sight. The rear sight with neither notch nor groove. Somehow I'm still able to make it work a little bit. But why is there no notch or groove on the rear sight? Do you not understand how sights work? Or why there need to be functional sights on all weapons in a game that's played in first person? It doesn't matter that this is RPS, role-playing shooter. It doesn't matter if it's FPS or RPS. If your main weapons are guns, and you're viewing the action in first person, then all iron sights need to line up perfectly, all the time, while aiming. It's not rocket surgery. By the way, this Karate revolver should be adequate, but not exceptional. And I should use this. I'm severely overestimating the capabilities of BL1. What's the accuracy? 90.4. Yeah, there's no one. You get accustomed to using the good stuff. When you're used to playing the game on Playthru 2 or 2.5. Then you go back and remember how much it sucks using ordinary weapons with bad parts. Yeah, the Equalizer is a legendary, but Tediore legendaries are for the most part ordinary. Most players, including myself, only use them for the ammo regen effect. Is that a burst launcher? That'll miss and do nothing. I hate Tediore grenades. I hate them. Now, that's not a burst launcher. It's a... Is it? That's actually pretty... If it's not a burst launcher, it's actually pretty decent. Oh, it is a burst. Okay, if it wasn't a burst, then it would be decent. I don't like burst launchers. I hate them. I love acid launchers. I don't like burst or helix launchers. There. One of these days I'd like to be able to do that on the first go. Like that. But I want to be able to do so reliably. Consistently. And BL1 just doesn't grant that capability. Well, Mordy can override that to an extent with his focus skill, which I have maxed out. How did I miss all of that? All right, Master, you're up again. Not the enemy I wanted you to go for. I should have shot him first, then sent Bloodwing out. I wanted Bloodwing to get that guy. That supposedly badass raider. Notice how I'm adjusting my aim by strafing instead of going like this. Are you actually using clever tactics? Well, you tried to, I'll give you that much. Your gun just wasn't good enough. That took way more than I had hoped it would. I should be taking out mooks consistently per burst. One burst per mook. If it's just a low-level mook like this, shouldn't be taking more than 1 or 2 bursts. I know I could do a better job at aiming for the head, but that's really hard with this terrible chintzy Type 1 sight. It would be easier to do with plain old iron sights with no zoom, but that's, for whatever reason, not an option on a combat rifle. Canyon Crush Saga is a go. It wasn't that long ago that I came across Torg Rifleman class mod. You can see why Roland would be fun to play on a Torg Allegiance run. Should I go ahead and invest in some of these? Maybe I'll wait till the end of this episode or the beginning of the next, because I do need to upgrade to purple SDUs. But I'll just do that any old time before ending Playthru-1, so I've got some time yet. For now, I'll hold on to my cash. Turtles all the way down. Oh, of course there would be a phone call. Just a moment. I'm back. You see how many interruptions I have to deal with? Every single episode.
Time to pound some meat puppets!
So satisfying.
action abounds.
No, it doesn't. That Corrodi SMG would be pretty good if it wasn't a thumper. But I certainly would not define that as satisfaction.
First thing, kid, you won't regret it.
I always do the Reaver mission and Skag Food mission first, before going after Krom. And those two are down this way, Krom is down that way. Starting to take more and more shots to stun spider ants, which tells me I'm going to have to be upgrading to level 31 gear here pretty soon. Well, naturally. Or I'm going to have to start finding better parted blue weapons. Why didn't that stun you? Why can't I rely on anything? What fun! I was kind of trying to sound like Henrietta from Evil Dead 2 Dead by Dawn. You weren't even aiming at me, I saw that. Video game logic. Spider ants do the same thing. But somehow it seems more legit when they do it. What has he got?
Time to play! Time to play! What? You like that?
Good fire rate, whatever it is. Flat off. has barrel 2 and body 3. And a structurally superfluous scope. That one looked like it was parted the same way. Same parts. Barrel 2, body 3, and I think that's stock 3. Maybe stock 4. Screw loose strut. Pop skull. Remember why I call it the screw loose strut? Because of the character Screw Loose from Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome. He does a strut just like that. If you're as much of a Mad Max fantard as I am, you know the scene I'm thinking of. By the way, Screw Loose is spelled S-C-R-O-O-L-O-O-S-E, I think. I know the screw part of his name is spelled S-C-R-O-O. S-C-R-O-O.
Let's teach them.
Spaz.
Shoot this guy!
Oh, I need to get some use out of some of these high-quality SMGs, but which one? Maybe this one? Kind of a lot o recoil. Now this one. This one has the same issue with its sights as this. Sights on a revolver are part of the barrel. Sights on an SMG are part of the body. Free range skag. That just doesn't seem like the sort of thing Atlas would produce. But who am I to determine such a thing? Stuck on that, of course. Back myself into a corner.
Feel it.
Of course, let's screw that up. Completely wasted that barrel. I knew if I tried to go for that canned skag meat first, I'd screw that whole process up. I assume you can see, you probably saw what I was trying to go for there. Why did that take so many shots? I know, level 22 is getting stale. Getting really tired of that. Dodging my shots like that. So irritating.
This way, please. Please open the box.
Don't mind if I do. Magazine, not clip. A clip is a device other than a speed loader used for loading a magazine or cylinder. And some people still don't know that. I don't understand that. Screw loose strut. I'm trying to laugh like Reagan say from Vampire Hunter D. And yes, that's the correct way to say his name. That's one, the 2011 dub of the original Vampire Hunter D from 1985. Two things it gets right that the 1992 dub gets wrong are the pronunciations of the name Reagan say and the word Dampier. Dampier. It's Dampier, not Dampier. How do you screw that up? How do you get Regancy out of Reagan say? Regancy is a cool sounding name, but that's not the character's name. His name is Reagan say. Sort of a compound name. But switching the R with the L when you yourself speak English is just insulting. I really need an intense Cobra with barrel 5. Getting bored here. Die faster, please.
Time to pound some meat profits. Feel it.
Like that. Well, that was a rain grenade, wasn't it? Also, I can't believe people like Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust better than the 1992 dub of the original Vampire Hunter D from 1985. Don't they understand? It ruins D's character arc. He was so noble and honorable in the first movie, which, by the way, is based on the first book. But in Bloodlust, based on the third book, he's just kind of a jerk. He's either being a jerk or being kind of boring.
So angry, so dead.
I mean, he wasn't that big. Angry, maybe, but not big. Double Anarchy, you're up. I'm not exactly sure how Morty's focus skill affects shotguns, masters, and double anarchies. Well, you had the wrong tool for the job. It's possible for Reaver's Edge to spawn with a penetrator barrel, which results in a hybrid. Good luck farming for it, though. It'll probably take you forever. Half of Forev's, at least. This Reaver's Edge has a plain old barrel 1 on it. If it had a penetrator barrel, its fire rate would be, what is it, 4 point something? The penetrator barrel is a variation of barrel 1, by the way. Put that back on there. Did I just inadvertently Mario you? Definitely an Italian plumber.
Another trophy for my wall.
I don't think I've ever scored that in Borderlands 2. Definitely an Italian plumber. Is that an achievement or a challenge? I forget. Finish him.
What? You didn't like that?
Where was I? Oh yeah, Vampire Hunter D. Original movie from 1985, more specifically the 1992 dub of the 1985 original based on the first book, 5 out of 5 stars. Bloodlust, 3 out of 5 stars. I hate 2 shooters.
That hurt?
Awesome shield right there. Best part left side, best part right side. And it's a perk. And I do love ancient shields. Out of curiosity, let's just see how that... Oh, wait. That's drastically better.
Going up against a better opponent, you need a better gun.
Two of my favorite grenade types, rain and rubberized. But surely you knew there was someone in the world who actually likes rubberized grenades, right? Well, I know I've explained this before in previous episodes, but it's worth reiterating. Pangolin knew how to make them right. Oops. I've gotten so accustomed to not being able to take those guys down with one shot that when it actually happens, I'm surprised. Alright, should I attack from above or below? Above. I just remembered I forgot to check those skag piles that were in that boat that was hanging down. On the way to Reaver's place. It's not worth going back to check that though. What am I stuck on? Seriously? This sort of thing needs to be fixed in Borderlands Remastered. A normal person just wouldn't need to jump over that. A normal person could step over it. Of course, I'm stuck on scenery the moment one of these guys gets in my face. So irritating. Crush him. Smashed. Captoids. Pop skull. Well, he had a good arm. But could he do the same with his left? I'm mix-handed myself. Next best thing to being ambidextrous. I was originally left-handed but was reprogrammed by the system to write with my right hand. Common practice in the 80s, but not for superstitious reasons. It was done only for the sake of expediency. But since that time, it's been discovered that reprogramming a person in that way can cause and or exacerbate learning difficulties. Notice I didn't say learning disabilities, I said learning difficulties. Which might explain a few things. In my case, I mean... Well, I did the same thing to Ronald Reagan. Something else I have in common with Ronald Reagan is he had a short tendon in one of his fingers. I think it was the index finger on one of his hands. I forget if it was his left or his right. And I had a short tendon in my left thumb. As a kid, the doctors clipped it. So now my left thumb works like a normal thumb. If you don't want to die, then don't be an enemy combatant. Don't make yourself an enemy combatant. Don't fight against civility. Fight for civility. Finish him. Lawful good is lawful great. For the people, not the state. Ha!
That hurt.
See, with high quality parts, you can put every round on target with one burst. And oftentimes that does the job. By the way, how do you like your anime? With guns or swords? Asking me to choose between gun anime and sword anime is like asking me to choose between Trigun and Vampire Hunter D. I can't choose. Those are like two of my top faves. Another Vlad machine gun with the same parts as the other ones. Barrel 2, body 3, and stock 3 or 4. And this one has a stabilizer, which makes a significant difference. More significant on some brands, like Torg, for example. Torg machine guns can sometimes have heavy recoil. Karodi, you're up. And I should probably also put this on there. Let's see if I can take out Krom's turret from downtown.
Please don't shoot, please don't shoot, please don't shoot, please don't shoot, please,
This is no Pestilent Defiler. Pestilent Defiler with barrel 5 can do this job with like 2 shots from this distance. Remember, Mordy won. Part of Mordy's backstory is he won a sniper competition with just a revolver. which means this is totally right up his alley. Taking out a target at this range with a revolver using basic iron sights. It's not going to work at this range. I'm going to have to get closer, which means I'm going to have to avoid those Helix rockets. That's why I put the SMG on here. I knew I'd have to fight mooks at close range while moving in, closing in on Krom. By the way, that name Krom will always remind me of Conan. I used to collect Conan comics. They were repros of the original 70s comic series. This should be close enough. No, 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 no.
Time to play! Time to play!
Ha! Play dirty pool. I'll adjust my tactics accordingly. I prefer to play lawful good style, but I'll get chaotic if I have to. Oh yeah, this is definitely my SMG of choice. Of all the ones that I have, this is better than the Double Anarchy. I know I keep saying that, but it keeps being true. Let's not take half a year, shall we? I'm right here. I could take him out, but these mooks are distracting. And you have to keep the damage on him because his turret regenerates. Regenerates his health. That's why every boss in this game, it's not the real challenge doesn't come from the boss itself. It comes from, well, of course, just toss that over the edge, why don't you? Idiot. The fact that they have all sorts of mooks that get in your way. On the other hand, though, that's how you score second wins, because of those mooks. So there's an upside and a downside to it. That's the upside. The downside is it's distracting. And it makes, in some cases, it can make simple tasks take forever. His aim was way off. I might have, my Karate might have something to do with that. This is certainly no Pestilent Defiler. Level 25 Pestilent Defiler on Playthru-1. I swear this is true. It'll take out Krom's Krom's turret. I almost said Krom. You know, like Krom from Real Monsters. Ickis was always my fave. Basically my spirit animal. There we go. That took a whole lot more than I was expecting. But it did get the job done. Maybe I should have kept those other Karate weapons I had bought. But I was so confident that a Karate revolver would do the job, because it always has in the past. And technically it did the job.
What the hell are you supposed to do?
Appropriate question for Morty. Isn't it obvious? I'm a Truxican wrestler moonlighting as a dominatrix. Marcus said so himself.
You scared? You should be.
I know, I kind of just stood there and took it, but I figured I should be able to. The last two holdouts. That is a good gun right there. The only Atlas gun that occurs at level 23. There's also a Pangolin class mod that occurs at level 23. Normally that's not a tier for any manufacturer. I wonder if this would actually proc per shot. Probably not, which makes it useless. I mean, I'm on a Tediore Allegiance run. It don't make me no never mind, but what if I was doing Hyperion? That's a good brand for Morty.
You found another piece of the key without my help. Or did you? I'm always watching you, friend. Be careful. Others are starting to see their own opportunity.
What are you implying, that I'm just your mook? I'm not a mook. Your minion. Like how Claptrap refers to us in Borderlands 2. By the way, it's totally possible to get blown off the edge by Krom's rockets. So, don't let that happen. Krom has a funny voice, but you only hear it if you go all the way up there to fight him. Which I never do. I always fight him at... well, my preference is to take him out from downtown with a high-accuracy Karate Go Nuts revolver.
It's time for my pound of flesh!
Wasn't able to perform 2 melee strikes fast enough. Still, it's faster to do so with a shotgun than it is with a bladed handgun. So. One of my favorite weapon types. Caught me sleeping. Standing up. One of my favorite weapon types in Borderlands 2. Especially for a melee character, is a slag sniper rifle with a bayonet. And the absolute best is the BL1 Snider. More specifically, what I call the Snider Mark 1. Since there are two Sniders. One has a matching BL1 barrel and the other has an aftermarket doll barrel. And naturally, the better one is the one with the matching barrel, which I call the Mark 1. Snider Mark 1. Good sights on that. What were those? Incendiary rubberized. Those are good for Zombie Island. Incendiary grenades are kind of like contact grenades, but with an extra edge to them, since they can bounce around. No, I will go back. I'll go straight down the list. This, then this, then this. Crazy Earl, New Haven Bounty Board, Tannis. Denied. Screaming is against the rules. How did I screw that up? Now watch the skag pile appear out of nowhere.
What you want? What you want?
Grow yourself a different style of tash. That one's just lame.
And good riddance.
Try a Zapata tash, like Hulk Hogan. '80s Hulk Hogan. Here we go.
Those guns absorb a lot of recoil, allowing you to stay accurate throughout the fight. If he took more than one shot, you weren't using a Jacobs.
All too ordinary. While I'm here, I might as well see if I can scrounge up a new toy. RoboCop reference. Of course, I mean the original RoboCop. Lots of guns in this game. Well, a few guns in this game reference RoboCop. The Torg Cobra. And a Torg Violator. The Torg Cobra is inspired by the Cobra Assault Cannon, which can be defined as a payload rifle. The props were built on an anti-material rifle. I think it was the Barrett M82, if I recall. And the Torg Violator is inspired by RoboCop's Auto 9, which was built from a Beretta 93R. And look at that, another Tediore ledge. And it's a level 31. I don't really need it, but I'm going to buy it anyway. For that price, why not? 5 figures. Let's see how terrible it is. It's only terrible because of its barrel, really. One of my bricks has a Carnage version of it on Playthru-2, I think. If that wasn't a thumper, it would be excellent. Still need a level 31 equalizer. So this door won't open yet. But it will soon enough. A swift masher. One of the best masher variants. This one has barrel 2 and body 5. Coincidentally, every swift masher I've ever found, at least that I can recall off the top of my head, has had barrel 2 and body 5. And the vast majority of them have been made by Dahl. Gotta check the shops. I've got money to burn.
Over here! I need your help with something.
Notice the Defender's flavor text reads, "I can do this all day," which is one of Roland's lines. Only Roland can do better than that with SNS. Where were you on my Dahl Allegiance run? And Anaconda. Barrel 4. Anaconda always has barrel 4. That's the part that makes it an Anaconda. This one also has body 3, which gives it an excellent fire rate of 1.6. If this was a masher, it would be fantastic. Not a good enough pounder.
If you need healing, step right up.
262, it's the same as mine. Yep. Same make, same model, same variant, same parts. What are the chances of that? Seems like the vast majority of scavenger class mods I've come across have been made by Pangolin. Once I'm on playthrough 2.5, I'll probably be
Do these teeth make my gums look fat?
looking for high-quality Panacea shields and scavenger class mods with health regen. Double dose of fast health regen to make me hard to kill.
There's been some talk that certain employees have been embracing weapons not manufactured by the Jacobs Corporation for their elemental modifications. We remind ourselves of the company motto: if it ain't a Jacob, I'd rather be dead. Please lead by example.
Cleaning up the
Dr.
bird.
gave me the following awards this year. Most effective plant trap in life-threatening situations.
You don't need to be a better shot.
Now there's a well-parted pounder, except for its chintzy sight. It can get away with having stock 1 on it because it's dull, and because it's a pounder. Barrel 5, body 5, but also stock 1 and sight 1. Still, of course, another phone call. Why not? Why not interrupt me again? Just a moment. I'm back. I hate talking on the phone. Shoot.
Choose Dr. Ned before you're...
Because it's never an interesting conversation. It's always something mundane. Now I've gotten mentally
We
sidetracked.
were betting on whether or not you'd survive and make it back. I had 3 to 1 you'd be zombie nugget. Man, the new youth station really throws off the spread.
I was just at New Haven, wasn't I? And I checked the shops there. That's where I bought that Defender. And the shops haven't changed over yet. See, I had to endure an 11-minute phone call. So now that's taken my mind out of my project here. So... It was basically a pointless phone call about nothing.
Get a gun that's as accurate as you are.
Barrel, body 3 on a Jacobs revolver, 1.1 fire rate. Pretty good by Jacobs standards.
Forget red. Hey, let's get you rolling, man.
Let's get our feet out of the dust.
By all means, announce your presence. You ever taken out Skagzilla with a stomper?
Atlas spares no expense in making guns that excel in every
Good sights
area.
on that.
I sure got you right now.
More meat for me.
Encounter enough
How much time?
there, and you'll be happy you won from the rest.
About 9.5. You're stuck on the scenery.
Satisfaction abounds.
I had a feeling that would happen the moment I heard that grenade doing its thing. Now, I probably didn't come away with anything worthwhile.
The one thing really well.
0823, Jill Valentine's badge number. Chris Redfield's badge number is 0738. I don't know why I remember stuff like that. That's the time I'm talking about. I noticed it was 0823. I don't know why I remember that my boating permit ID number was R437439. And that was back in the early 90s when I was in middle school. I had a boating permit before I ever learned how to drive a car. And yet I've never owned a boat. Grew up on a lake resort town. And had a boating permit when I was a preteen in middle school. And yet I've never owned a boat. Good body type on that. But it's a Helix. 68.7.
Listen, you somehow managed to not die and get my alien artifact back for that Krom. You keep it the hell away from me. Bury it, give it to Tannis, build an orphanage out of it, I don't care. Do not bring it back to me.
I don't think I've ever gotten that message from him before.
First aid kit, and you won't regret it. Hey, let's get you rolling, man.
Let's get our feet out of the dust.
Anyway, no prob. That's pretty much exactly what I'm planning to do. How many was that? 5? See how unreliable Lethal Strike is, even when it's maxed out?
Wanna shoot a lot of bullets really fast? Vladov has your needs covered.
Another Vengeance. And it's a caustic with a skimpy 17-round mag. Does the Vengeance always have a 17-round mag? The previous Vengeance that I came across, was it Incendiary, if I recall? The Vengeance's unique attribute is Bug. It only takes effect if you have the Vengeance equipped when you start a game. So the idea is you get a Vengeance, you equip it, then at that point, if you want to, you can quit and go back into the game. And then it takes effect. But there's even more to it than that, because it spreads its effect to all the weapons you have equipped. And its effect is basically similar to Mordy's Trespass skill. Its shots have a chance to bypass shields.
Time for a nice, relaxing drive.
The reason I'm reloading after every shot is I'm pretending like I'm using a single shot sporting pistol like a Thompson Center Contender or Encore, or anything of that style. You can never be too rich, too good looking, or too well armed. Well, how about Handsome Jack? He's rich. He's good looking by his own standards anyway. But of course, he's a narcissist. Don't like Shredder's. But is Jack well armed?
Step right up.
I mean, when you fight him at the end of Borderlands 2. 3.6 accuracy. Shredders and sweepers. Especially the ones made by the sweepers made by Vladoff and the shredders made by Tediore. Jump out the wrong way, why don't you? Is that a Torg machine gun? It is. With barrel 2, body 2, and stock 2, and sight 2, and a chintzy 24-round mag. Chintzy and skimpy by machine gun standards. See what happens when you jump out the wrong way? Shop's gonna change over. We'll skip the last 20 seconds.
If you need healing, step right up.
Best part left side.
Remember, you can always count on Marcos for the best.
Hold on a sec. Is it
a real doctor. When you
level 16 doll. Level 25 doll. Don't insult us. Give us level 25 stuff. Level 16 is a level for the arid Badlands on Playthru-1. We shouldn't have to tolerate being inundated with underlevel junk by this point. Oh, since I mentioned Reagan Say earlier, Reagan Say from Vampire Hunter D, that his signature weapon, that blade that he uses that he controls with his mind, I guess he controls it with his mind. Doesn't that kind of remind you of the glaive from Krom? One of my all-time favorite movies of all time, I might add. Came out in the early 80s. was described as Star Wars meets Excalibur. Fairly accurate. How did I miss that? I really need a masher with a better body on it. Getting sick of these revolvers with body 1. Sick of combat rifles with body 1. Sick of combat rifles with 12-round mags. So insulting. Don't insult me. Make 18 the bare minimum.
Greetings.
And even that is skimpy. Hold on just a moment. I'm back.
Let's hope you're more useful than the last one I hired.
Hello! There are new missions available at the Middle of Nowhere bounty board. Greetings! Helena Pierce has more jobs for you in New Haven.
Let's get a look at that accuracy again. Yeah, not a significant, negligible difference there. Now that has a good cylinder, but a bad barrel. Still 37.7 with barrel 1. For a Tediore, not as bad as I would expect.
You killed the ugly one. I asked Pierce to give you Class A clearance, and she declined, so I stole her robotic arm until she'd give it to you. You should have little trouble moving forward. Are we friends? I think I would enjoy that.
Of course, we're not truly friends until you sign me up for the underground.
First thing, kid. You won't regret it.
Pick up some more missions. Do you have any missions for me?
I ain't gonna buy it, probably.
That's the place to catch a ride. You can pay it all down.
Hello! There are new missions available at the Middle of Nowhere bounty board. Greetings! Helena Pierce has more jobs for you in New Haven.
Thumper.
Accurate and effective. Assuming you're
Screw that noise. Oh, that's right. Middle of nowhere.
Well, looks like you fit right in. See you soon.
Did I do all of Marcus's missions? Pretty sure I did.
If he took more than one shot, you weren't using a Jacobs.
Pretty decent shotgun right there for its level. I think I would prefer that though. Fairly decent payload rifle. Relative to their level, of course. Oh, yeah. Of course, there's the level difference. This has barrel 3, this has barrel 4. Barrel 4 is the most powerful shotgun barrel, but keep in mind we're comparing a level 22 S&S to a level 19 Vladoff, and they're both blue label. Fire rate, I'd still favor this.
If you need healing, step right up. Oh, that's the place to catch a ride. You can play it all kinds of get you going, man.
Going too slow.
Want to shoot a lot of bullets really fast?
Pretty good launcher right there.
Covered.
If you don't have a Pestilent Defiler or a Volcano, that launcher will serve you well against Crimson Lance. Especially if you're playing Brick with a Bombardier class mod. Well, I've got all the missions picked up, I think. So next time I could get this out of the way. All of Chuck Durden's Fight Club missions. All there's left to do now for this episode is go on a manic shopping spree. And since I'm in the middle of nowhere, I'll just work my way back up. I was just at New Haven. And before that, I was here, if I recall. You know what? I'm going to go check the shops at T-Bone Junction. Oh, should I? Or should I resist the temptation? I'll go to Jacob's Cove. Then Tartarus. Because what difference does it make if I'm looking for level 31? If I'm looking for level 31 weapons and gear, it's going to cost the same. No matter where I buy it from. But if I go to T-Bone Junction, I might come across level 40 Tediore stuff. By this point.
Hey, I could right where you're standing.
Is shooting bullets just not cool enough for you? Get a Maliwan and light some people on fire.
I lost my contact.
That would be better if it was just an ordinary shotgun and not an explodey one. It looks kind of a lot like the one I used for my Doll Allegiance run.
Do me a favor.
Best part
Would you
left
buy
side.
first aid so that I won't have to fix you up later.
Turret's gonna have some fun. How much time? 9.5. During my Doll playthrough, I came across one of the best shotguns ever. It was a level 25 purple label Doll Desert Shotgun, which would have had the name Hunter's Shotgun if it hadn't had the desert material type, which I think is material 3. Barrel 5, and I had 2 of them. one that I sold once I got the other one. Because the one that I had was good enough, and then I got one that was even better. The one that was good had barrel 5 and a good enough body type to give it a 1.3 fire rate, and it had a Mag 1 type of cylinder. But then I came across one that had barrel 5, good enough body type to give it 1.4 fire rate, and a Mag 4 type of cylinder, which is my fave. 9 pellets per shot. Instead of the usual 7 you get with shotguns that have barrel 5. Possibly due to the material type.
Atlas spares no expense in making guns that excel in every area. If he took more than one shot, you weren't using a Jacobs.
Nah, they're good, but kind of ordinary.
Here.
Best part left side and middle.
Hey, over
I'm
here.
only interested in
Yes, you.
SMGs that have something interesting about them. Elemental, double anarchy, double SMG, twisted barrel plus twin shot accessory, stuff like that.
If he took more than one shot, you weren't using a Jacobs.
Gunslinger Mordy could get a lot of use out of this. Or Plague Bearer Lil.
Guns can improve accuracy, regenerate ammo, or even
Go ahead.
get yours right
You
here.
got that accounted for.
Get your man's here. Your grenade should do more than
Now.
just explode. Customize your grenades with a new mod today.
Might as well go for broke. And then rebuild it next time. Skipping launcher and sniper. Even though I bought the green ones. Remember, I did that just so I could say that absolutely everything I have, including my backpack SDUs, are at least green or better. And that also applies to my grenade mods, which will always be green label. Because this is the only flavor of nade mod that Tediore makes. Also, I'm going to go ahead and sell some SMGs.
Want to shoot a lot of bullets really fast? Vladov has your needs covered.
Because of all of these, I like the double SMG the best. And I'll go ahead and retire the double anarchy. I could retire the stomper. Maybe I'll hold on to the stomper a bit longer. All greens with a ledge. Well, I hope that doesn't feel too awkward. Also notice, I might have pointed this out before, same barrel, same body on the two of these. Also notice how when the masher accessory is attached to barrel 3, it looks like it's kind of hanging down a little bit. It only looks like that when it's on barrel 3. Doesn't look like that when it's on any other barrel type. 1, 2, 4, 5. Well, I'm going to call it. Catch you on the flip side. And see you next mission, slabs.